Hello everyone and welcome back to Full House Sports here with myself, Charlie. Before we start the video, I just want to say big love to everyone subscribing at the moment and liking the videos. Really appreciate everything everyone does. So thank you so much for that and please keep it coming. Thank you. Right, again, it is time for my boxing roundup, my bi-daily, I don't know if you'd call it, 1 every 2 days, whatever you want to call that, boxing roundup, because as always, there's plenty going on in the world of pugilism. So, first things first was last night's action. George Liddard beating Liddard-Conway in, I thought it was a great card actually at York Hall, in a fight for the British and Commonwealth middleweight titles. I think it was a general consensus in boxing that maybe it was a fight too soon for Liddard. I thought that as well. Being from the same area as Conway as well, I was rooting for Conway to win. But listen, George Liddard did the business, and he is no doubt one of the, I think, most promising prospects in British boxing. I think you forget he is only 23, which for a boxer already to be at that level is quite young. I know the goals supposed to sort of shifted on that because people aren't as interested in the amateur game. For him to be 23 already, British and Commonwealth titles, listen, I said about the welterweight division the other day. I think the middleweight division is the same as well. It's not as strong as what it used to be, and by no means am I saying, right, get him in a world title shot straight away. But there's, I don't want to say limited options out there for him, but there is options on the domestic scene. Obviously, you've got Brad Pauls. That'd probably be a good fight to make. Brad Pauls is never in a boring fight. The Nuki Bomber. Denzel Bentley, I think he's got an eliminator coming up the WBO, so he won't be there. I don't know what's going on with Nathan Haney. There is fighters on the domestic scene, but I wonder with Liddard if now it'll be, right, let's move him up into maybe European, fringe European, because I say the gap now between that domestic scene and world scene is not that big, and we've already seen that the belt holders as well are not as active as maybe you'd like. More on that in a bit, but like you say, it's a big win for Liddard. The card was actually really good. I thought Jimmy Sains looked good winning his title. I thought his performance was very professional. I thought Shannon Ryan was unlucky against Chloe Watson with the head clash and the eye injury, but Shannon Ryan getting a big win there. I guess with her, it will now be looking again at world honours. And Taylor Bevan, how good does Taylor Bevan look, by the way? Another one, young prospect. Listen, I know I said the other day or the other week that I thought Matchroom might be losing their grip on the British boxing scene, but with prospects like that, it's hard to believe that. I think Taylor Bevan looks great. Broke the lad's jaw. I can't remember. I can't pronounce his name correctly, but the Polish lad who was fighting, he broke his jaw, the left hook. Lovely combination in close. Great combo. That left hook just finishing it. And I don't know if it's been confirmed that his jaw was broke, but again, a great performance. I must say two things. One, I'm a fan of Friday night boxing. Let's face it, unless there's a Friday night football, which there isn't, or there won't be after an international break, and also Friday night football isn't always the best quality of games. Usually you'll get maybe 2 mid-table clubs on it. I think it's great having a fight like on a Friday. I really do, and I think it's good for the sport when you're not competing with football, because Saturday night you are inevitably competing with the football. It's good for the sport of box. I know you compete with rugby as well, but such as potato, really, you're not going to have everything perfect. And I love the fact that it was a York Hall show. York Hall, there's always bangers at York Hall, always great fights. It just produces that. You think of some of the fights, even in recent years you've had there. You had the prize fight tournaments when they used to take place there. There was the night, I can't remember when Conor Benn fought there against the lad from Luxembourg and got knocked down 3 times in what was a come-up. Then you had that tournament that I think MTK did, where they had fighters. I think Tara McKenna ended up in that, and Hara Davis. That was great. And yeah, York Hall just always produces bangers. So great card from Matchroom. I've been negative about them, but that's a fantastic card. Keeping on the Matchroom subject and Anthony Joshua, because is he coming back? When's he coming back? Who's he coming back against? We're not really any close to the truth. Eddie Hearn saying that he thinks AJ is going to fight, maybe not in a main event, but will be on an undercard coming up soon. There keeps being these rumours of a December 20th card in Africa. I don't know what's going on with that, and it's rumoured I think Craig Richards versus Dan Aziz might take place on that. Well, surely Anthony Joshua is not going to come back on that card and be the undercard to that. Surely not. Because A, that's not fair on Richards and Aziz, because then they're going to be the main event, but no one's going to really be turning up for them. Everyone's going to be turning for AJ, and the risk is they all go home after AJ, especially in a country, well, I guess say that Ghana's got a proud boxing history, so I don't think that might not be the case. But I do think that you're going to have, that would be ridiculous. Is there a big Saudi card left in the year? I don't think so, because they've got the Night of the Samurai card in between Christmas and New Year with a lot of the Japanese fighters on. I think Nakatani's on that, and so is Inoue, and as well you've got Jazz Dickens going over for that card actually from Britain. So you've got all that going on. Surely he's not going to come back on that card unless he's going to be the headliner. I don't know what's going on with AJ. I said it in my video the other week about what's next for him. I thought the natural, if he's going to fight Africa, would be Bakoli or a Jag, but I think it's interesting that Bakoli's not really, he's in training, but he's not calling for a fight. Is he being lined up? Is a Jagba being lined up? Who knows what's going on? There's a fair bit going on in the AJ world that I think we're a little bit unsure of. Has he fully recovered? Listen, I get it. He's got to come back. I got to get a win, because if he doesn't, any plans that are still in place for him are gone. So he's got to come back and he's got to get a win. But I don't think you can have him on an undercard, especially if you took him to Ghana or to Nigeria. You just couldn't. It would be it'd be unfair on the fighters who are headlining, unless the guy who was headlining was, I don't know, another megastar, maybe even a Deontay Wilder. But you can't have him on Craig Richards and Dan Aziz's undercard. I'm sorry. So Matchroom have released their plan for Ben Whittaker, which is, I thought was quite, again, underwhelming. I'm not a Ben Whittaker hater. I really like Ben Whittaker. And I'm just disappointed because I saw Frank Smith in an interview say, well, if they'd have managed him correctly, meaning boxer, he'd still be there. But then the rumour is that he's going to fight Gavazzi, whose name I know I butchered the other week on my video, or the other day on my video, sorry. He's going to fight Gavazzi, then he's going to make his debut in America, which I don't think is a bad move because, again, a bit like, the comparison is obvious, but a bit like Nazim Hamed. He's made for America. He's made for the showbiz side of things. He's made for TikTok edits. He's made for all that sort of pizzazz. So he's going in against them. Then he's going to have a fight against a tough opponent back in the UK. And then the fourth fight here, he's going to be ready for maybe a Willie Hutchison or Lyndon Arthur. Seriously? 4 fights to be ready for those guys? My theory is 2 things. One, Matchroom are maybe a bit worried about him going in against them. Not because they don't believe in him, but because the Liam Cameron fight is so recently in their memory. The first one, I mean, not the second one. Obviously, we saw him go over the ropes, and only Ben knows if he was injured or not. I'm not here to speculate on that. Whether that's still fresh in their memory, and they're thinking also it's still fresh in fans' memories as well. So let's get him impressing and then get him in with those guys. I don't know, but I thought it was really underwhelming, especially because I saw that if he beats Gavazzi, he becomes top 5 of the WBC, or he's definitely top 10. Well, how's he going to keep hold of that rank if he's just fighting tomato cans? He can't, can it? Surely. The WBC would have to enforce something. So, I don't know what's going on. I think as well there's probably going to be a problem making those fights because with all the talk of broadcasting, with broadcast deals and whatever else, and Matchroom and Queensbury, whether them fights, because a lot of them guys did say the other day when I said about Whittaker going to Matchroom that a lot of the light heavyweights domestically are with Frank Warren. And we've got that great card coming up on November 1st, but that's a Frank Warren card. That's really where Ben Whittaker wants to be. But he's gone with Matchroom, and such is that. Right, what else is going on in the world box? Well, Danny Garcia is retiring this week. I don't know if he's actually officially announced his retirement. He's saying bye to Brooklyn is the card. Danny Garcia is one of them fighters that I think history will look on kindly because he's a guy who fought everyone. I remember when I was obviously younger, I think I was still a kid probably, when he first fought Amir Khan, and he's a bit of a meme. Not that memes were around then, or not that I was aware of him, but he was a bit of a meme in those days where he wore the leopard print or the tiger print, I can't remember which one it was, and his dad was a fast-talking New Yorker. They were both fast-talking New York Puerto Ricans, and he was a bit of a meme, and everyone sort of thought, oh, who's this guy? What's he on about? But he obviously sparked Khan, or he knocked him into a different state, to be honest with you. It was a fantastic performance. And he genuinely did fight everyone, Danny Garcia. He fought Lucas Matisse. He beat Matisse. Took on all comers in and around that light welterweight and welterweight division. Obviously, recently he went up to try and beat Erislandy Lara. It didn't quite work out. But I think history will look favourably on him because his record speaks for itself and his wins speak for themselves. And his willingness to fight people will speak for themselves as well. Whether he's a Hall of Famer, I don't know. I saw someone questioning that on Twitter the other day or on X. Listen, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer yet, but do you know what? Fair play to him because he took on a fair amount of tough fights. He was willing to face off against anybody, and for that he deserves tremendous props. And keep it quiet, but that fight against Amir Khan is one of my favourites. Just the way he throws the left hook, and he was hunting with it. It was like he was just throwing course with it, bang, he connected, and Khan was completely knocked. obliterated. And also, people forget how good his win over Matisse was. That was a fantastic win. People forget how good that was, because that was a Matisse who was, I think he'd just destroyed Lamont Peterson, another guy who beat Amir Khan. I think he'd just destroyed Lamont Peterson, Matisse. Garcia faced him, he was the boogeyman, and Garcia obviously beat him on points. He was on a Mayweather undercard, so again, tremendous props for that. Talking of that welterweight era, Paulie Malignaggi, bare knuckle tonight against Tyler Goodjohn. The less said, the better. I said what I said about bare knuckle the other week when I was talking about James DeGale. Yes, I admire anyone who does it, who's got the bottle to do it. Fair play to you, but Paulie Malignaggi, he couldn't knock the skin off custard when he was a boxer. Let's be real. He had about 8 knockouts in 29 fights, or something ridiculous. How on earth is he going to win a bare knuckle fight? I know he keeps saying, "Oh, my hand problems are fixed." Just give it up, Paulie. Go to Misfits. He suits Misfits so well. Go to Misfits. There's a weird audience out there that will watch that. Don't do bare knuckle. Tyler Goodjohn, people forget as well, himself was a domestic level boxer. He's more, I think, found his way in this bare knuckle route. I can't get my head around the promotion sometimes with bare knuckle, whether it's BKFC or I think this was BYB. I don't know. But listen, fair play to Paulie Malignaggi. He's got the bottle to do it. I think it's going to end badly. We've seen him do it before. We've seen it not end well before. Yeah, probably not end well again. Tyler Goodjohn probably knocks him out in round 1 or 2. He gets horrendously disfigured, and yeah, we're back to square one. It's a shame because Paulie's a great broadcaster. When Paulie Malignaggi speaks, I listen. Very knowledgeable. Talks a lot. It's about 120 words in a minute, but really, really knowledgeable fella. Heavyweight fighters like that. Richard Torres fighting, I'm going to get this guy's name right, Thomas Salek. What is going on with Richard Torres? What's going on with Top Rank? Why have they still not got a broadcast deal? Not a great opponent. I think everyone's said that. Salek's been knocked out in round 1 by Nathan Gorman. No disrespect to Nathan Gorman, but that's a benchmark. Whereas I think he was knocked out in 3 by Cash Ali as well, who UK fighters will remember for a certain action he did against David Price. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Torres. There's rumours that they get straight away. They're asking for Dave Allen. Why? You're never going to get that fight. But surely there's got to be someone out there for him to fight better than this opponent. He's going to knock him out in about a round, and that'll be that. Torres have got to sort themselves out. They've got some good young fighters, but they've got to get a broadcast deal, because if not, people will start getting picked off. Already, I think the vultures are circling on that stable. Bob Arum has got to get that sorted soon, and his team around him. Time to get it sorted, because if not, they're going to lose all them young talents. Right, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. As I said at the start, thank you very much for everyone. Like, subscribe. Please keep subscriptions coming, and have a great day. Thank you.